Okay, the topic my group and I are doing is on prosthetic limbs. The article I am discussing is from Smithsonian.com and it should be linked in the PowerPoint so everyone can read it. This article first gives a bit of history on prosthetic limbs. The very first prosthetic limb was discovered in 2000 BC in Egypt and was a wooden toe sewn onto a little thing you could attach to your foot, but you couldn't move it or anything. But the first functional limb was created back in the 16th century by Ambroise Paré, who was a surgeon for the French army. He created a hand with flexible fingers operated by catches and springs. He also built a leg with a mechanical knee that the user could lock into place while standing. But these limbs were rare, as many people who lost limbs during battle died soon after from blood loss or disease. And those born without limbs were shunned and ostracized by most people, so they didn't get any help either. Prosthetic limbs did not start gaining widespread use until after the Civil War. Around 60,000 amputations were performed by both the North and South. And after the war, the demand for prosthetics were really high, so the government actually had to step in and provided veterans with money to pay for their new limbs. World War I and World War II further popularized artificial limbs, as the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have had the Advanced Research Projects Agency put $144 million into prosthetic research to help the soldiers who have suffered traumatic limb loss. And then we get to the present time for the article, where the author interviewed Bertolt Meyer, a psychology professor for the University of Zurich, who was born without his left arm. Meyer explains that ever since he was 3 months old, he had to wear a prosthetic limb, but it wasn't until his current limb that he has on now where he felt like it actually was a part of him. His current limb is actually called the limb. It has improved software, longer-lasting batteries, and smaller, more powerful, efficient microprocessors. It has 2 electrodes inside the forearm, and it responds to muscular signals in the residual limb. Sending a signal to one electrode opens the hand, and to the other it will close it. David Gow, a Scottish engineer who created the limb, says one of the most significant accomplishments in the field of prosthetics has been making amputees feel whole again, and no longer embarrassed to be seen wearing an artificial limb. He first worked for the defense industry for Scotland, and then became an engineer at the government research hospital attempting to develop electrically powered prosthetics. His first breakthrough was when he was trying to figure out how to design a hand small enough for children. Instead of employing one center motor, which was the standard approach, he incorporated smaller motors into the thumb and fingers. This innovation both reduced the size of the hand and paved the way for artificial digits. The design later became the basis for the limb. Each finger for the limb is powered by a 0.4-inch motor that automatically shuts down when sensors indicate sufficient pressure is applied to whatever is being held. Not only does that prevent the hand from crushing something, it allows for a variety of grips. An app loaded onto the iPhone gives users access to a menu of 24 different present grips with the touch of a button. Hugh Herr, a biophysicist and engineer who is the director of the Biomechatronics group at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology Media Lab, is considered to be a huge inspiration for the limb. When he was 17, Herr was caught in a blizzard while mountain climbing, and due to that he has had to have both of his legs amputated. Wanting to continue mountain climbing, Herr designed his own prosthetic legs, optimizing them to maintain balance on mountain ledges, and 30 years later, he co-holds more than a dozen patents related to prosthetic technologies, including a computer-controlled artificial knee that automatically adapts to different walking speeds. His most recent invention is a bionic ankle designed for people who have lost one or both legs below the knee, and it's called the BIOM, or the BIOM. This device is fitted with sensors, multiple microprocessors, and a battery and it propels users forward with each step, helping amputees regain lost energy as they walk. Her envisions the future where prosthetics such as the BIOM can be merged with the human body. He also believes that physical disabilities will be largely eliminated by the end of the 21st century. And I'm sorry I had to read it all from the computer because I kept forgetting what I was going to say and stumbled over my words. So I hope you all found this very interesting, and you can read the full article linked in the PowerPoint like I said earlier.